Reviews on the Run.
It's our super happy TGS show.
Hi, we've been going to conventions all damn year long, and I think this is the last one of 2009, so we thought it'd be a pretty cool thing to kind of do a little wrap-up show, talk about TGS, some of the stuff that we've seen here. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of things that we discussed that we've seen before, but we get a new, fresh look at some of this stuff. Jose Don Fubar Sanchez is joining us, and my good friend Scott Jones is here. And we are going to start talking about the Xbox 360. What do you guys think of the presents here?
Well, I know we've spent a lot of time in comic book shops this week and in game stores.
Yeah.
I'm surprised at how much shelf space the 360 takes up now. Because a few years ago, you would be hard-pressed to find any 360s here, any Microsoft presence at all. And you come here to the show floor, and you see the gigantic Microsoft booth over there. I don't remember it being this big last year at all.
Microsoft really takes this show seriously. They put on press events. And what's interesting, I mean, we're Western press, so we get the interviews with all kinds of different developers and stuff like that. And you were talking to a whole bunch of different companies, and most of the games that you were covering were also coming over the 360, right?
Yeah, it was surprising to see. I was telling, when we were doing our little booth tour of the 360 booth, how surprisingly packed the 360 area was.
One thing that we got to make note of, this is a business day here at Tokyo Game Show, so we can actually hear ourselves speak, and we can see each other. Tomorrow, the public is here,
24 hours.
And we're not going to be here.
It'll be like a Dead Rising level.
Yeah, because it's
shoot like this.
Yeah, no, we cannot shoot on those kinds of crazy days. It gets way too insanely packed in here. But anyways, on the business day, this is the gaming press, like Michael McWhirter right there from Kotaku just walked right behind. Sure. All right. So this is all the gaming press, so that may be why we're seeing so much love going back to the 360. But what did you see on the 360 that impressed you?
Well, nothing new. I was surprised to see the line for ODST, which, you know, people apparently are starting to love them some Halo.
Yep.
And then you have all the other games that are coming out on multiple consoles, not just 360. There's a little Shadow Complex love, which was good to see.
I'd like to see the Modern Warfare 2 big display. Square is actually publishing it here for Activision.
Yeah, you know, I was surprised to see Modern Warfare 2 have such a big presence here. But even more surprising, with all the Japanese business people and press stopping to look at this game. I know first-person shooters aren't as big in Japan as they are in the States.
Yeah.
There seems to be some Modern Warfare 2 love, for sure.
Makarov's reach is spreading. This can only end one way.
Surprised to see 99 Nights 2. Konami's publishing that. I didn't know the first one was a big enough success to warrant that.
I guess so.
Samurai Spirits 3D. I'm a huge Samurai Showdown fan. So looking forward to playing that.
A lot of Warriors games, your Dynasties, your Samurais, all Warriors, all fighting on the 360.
Well, you know, I'm not a big RPG fan, but it's impossible to go near the Square Enix booth and not want to play Final Fantasy 13.
Totally. Racing games always play a huge part of the Japanese trade shows. You see them everywhere, but the two big ones are Gran Turismo behind us, but there's Forza 3.
They have the 3 different screen setups and like 4 different kiosks, so it's like 90 screens for like 4 versions of the game.
Dirt 2 is on display here. There's a lot of stuff that we're already playing or we've already reviewed on the show that's just coming to Japan. Winning 11 2010 is available and playable right here on the show floor. Always got a crowd around that.
One game that I played and finished from Capcom is Lost Planet. I was never knocked out by it. I'm shocked that there's a sequel.
Yeah.
I'm also shocked at how incredible it looks.
Lost Planet 2 looks insane, man.
Huge crowds around every Lost Planet kiosk here. One of the strange things about coming to TGS is you don't see Activision here. You don't see EA here. What you see is companies that are niche companies in the States like Koei, like Tecmo. They have huge booths here. Capcom's booth, huge. Square Enix.
Absolutely. Actually, a Square Enix game that really surprised me, Front Mission. Very impressed. Yeah, I love my John Robots. I can't wait to play that.
I also have to say that I think that the Microsoft booth, the 360, has the cutest booth girls.
Definitely.
Their little hats.
I concur.
Every
They have
hour
the little low-cut shirts.
They do a little dance. I mean,
I got video footage of me breakdancing with one of them.
Nice.
We kind of had a breakdance battle. She won, but it's cool.
One of my favorites I'm looking forward to is Bayonetta from Sega.
Yeah.
This game just looks better and better every time I see it.
Feel better now?
I'm surprised at how just together Microsoft seems this year.
I think there's a little bit more love being shown to the PlayStation 3.
Absolutely.
And we're going to talk about that when we come back. So don't go away. PlayStation 3 right after this. Welcome back to to Reviews on the Run. Scott, Fubar, and I are talking about TGS, and we talked about 360 before the break. Now it's PS3 time. What have you seen on the PlayStation 3 that sort of caught your attention?
Well, I think the big time announcement is the brand new Lightning Edition of the PlayStation 3.
Yeah.
Hello. It's kind of sexy.
It's gorgeous.
Yeah.
That's such an amazing display. I mean, if I was a Final Fantasy 13 fan and was dying for this game, I would be all over this sucker, man. A white PS3, it looks beautiful.
Yeah, I talked to the guys at Square Enix. They said they're going to make Lightning the new Cloud.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, that's their plan.
Did you see the Final Fantasy 13 demo? Did you get a chance to...
No, I just stood in front of that screen with my jaw hanging open.
I've been kind of, casually interested all the way along, but it's been hype for so long. I've seen it at TGS for like 5 years, it feels like. Finally, people are able to play it here on the floor, and I'm watching the video, and it's like Lord of the Rings and Star Wars and Fifth Element
And a big block of cheese added in, too.
And the Titanic.
Yeah.
Every Japanese RPG's got a little Titanic mixed in. Uncharted 2 is making a big deal here too, I think.
I'm surprised that Uncharted is as big as it is here. Again, it feels like a very Western game.
Yeah.
But it seems like everybody's talking about it, everybody's gathering around the kiosk, everybody's playing it, and there's a nice buzz for Uncharted 2 here at the show.
Oh. Is that an ancient Tibetan ritual dagger in your pocket?
Oh, maybe I'm just happy to see you.
There is one weird kind of thing. It's right behind us here. They've been playing Yakuza 4 over and over and over again. They've had some of the actors from the game up on stage. The game looks incredible.
It looks great. I want my Yakuza 3 first.
Yeah, what happened to Yakuza 3?
I mean, Sega's got so much money invested in this franchise, obviously, and they spent a lot of money on the PS3 version of 3 and 4. Well, I want to play these games.
What I don't see here is your beloved Batman.
It's in one screen in Square Enix's booth because Square owns Eidos now, so they have one screen for Batman. I know, you're right about that.
There's no escape, Joker. I will find you.
We have a little Ratchet and Clank, Crack in Time. There's Gran Turismo 5, huge presence also with probably $100,000 simulator ride things that you can play the game in. But what else on the PS3?
One game that I'm less and less interested in all the time, every time I see it, is Heavy Rain.
Yeah.
It just gets more and more complicated and weird, and the controls just feel so unintuitive. And
Right.
I know everybody in the industry is talking about it. Everybody wants to play this game, except me.
I can't wait to get my hands on and play through it and see what the story's about.
I want to play it. I mean, I think the hype is probably a little high on the game. I liked Indigo Prophecy, but I wasn't blown away by it, but I liked it. What's interesting is you have to actually go into a room and you got to get your ID checks to play Heavy Rain and the God of War.
Yeah, they don't play around here when it comes to the old age limit thing. There's a lot of Tekken 6 love.
Yeah.
A lot of fighting game love.
Also going to be on the 360. That game's going to be incredible.
Again, Lost Planet 2, we talked about it on the 360. It's on the PS3 as well. Looks awesome.
I remember during our E3 wrap-up show, we talked a little bit about The Last Guardian. They showed an incredible demo that made me want to go home and pet my cats and tell them that I love them.
Yeah.
And they're showing the same demo here. It's not playable.
They give you a little bit more gameplay in this.
A little bit more gameplay.
Yeah.
But this is absolutely one of the most stunning games I've ever seen in my life.
And you can see the crowd that stands out in front of the screen
this will
when
just
it's
fill up
played.
right here. The thing is, my criteria for when I review games, and I know we joke around and we're silly a lot, but I'm very serious. I love video games.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty good at them. But it's always a question of when I'm playing something, am I feeling something? And just by looking at this gameplay trailer for this game, I am moved already. I feel like I tear up a little bit.
You interviewed some people for Electric Playground on End of Eternity. What's it going to be called in America?
It's going to be called Resonance of Fate here in the States.
I like End of Eternity better.
So, well, that's what I said. They should just call End of Eternity Resonance of Fate.
Yeah.
And I'd be a satisfied customer. Just another RPG, but it's focused around gunplay instead of swordplay.
Yeah, it looks good. And obviously 3 big games for both 360 and PS3 are Avatar and Assassin's Creed 2 and Splinter Cell Conviction. All 3 big presence in Sony's booth, 360's booth, and at Ubisoft's booth. And obviously one of the big selling points for Avatar in the theaters and on home screens is that'll be 3D. Sony's actually showing off the Wipeout 3D. Did you get a chance to play it?
I didn't get a chance to play it. I got to look at it though, and it was wow.
You couple that with Natal or the Sony camera and
Never leave the house.
I mean, you're going to be looking around objects.
The girls in the PlayStation booth, not quite as sexy as
Xbox.
So I give the girls a 4 out of 10.
We're not scoring the girls, guys.
Yes, we are. Speaking of motion control, no Nintendo here yet again.
Yeah, I know. Well, we're going to talk about Nintendo when we come back from the break, and also take a look at, because there are some Nintendo games here, but also take a look at the DS and the PSP stuff as well. So don't go away. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Reviews on the Run. We've been talking about all the games we're seeing here at TGS, and now obviously the Wii.
Good stuff.
The Wii doesn't have its own booth. Nintendo avoids this conference.
Yeah, it's the strangest thing.
They used to have their own show. I don't know if they still have it, so where they would run the Nintendo show. All right, well, but what we did see on the Wii, there were some impressive titles. I think probably the one that North American gamers are most eagerly awaiting is new Resident Evil, the Dark Side Chronicles.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Now, Capcom is promising that, this is going to be the best of the rail shooters that's come out, and the Wii's got a bunch of good ones, and we just reviewed Dark Space Extraction.
There's definitely room for games like Dark Side Chronicles.
This place is like hell on earth. Whether you're in the station or outside on the streets, it's all the same.
Square Enix has got games for everybody. What are they showing off for the Wii?
Oh, they got the Final Fantasy Crystal Bearers, or whatever the hell it's called.
I thought it was called Crystal Berries.
Crystal Berries?
No, it's not Crystal Berries. Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles Crystal Bearers. It looks really good.
Yeah.
It's a little chocobo racing for you, which I know you're a big fan of.
I'm a huge chocobo
They
rider.
have like a chocobo.
I rode my chocobo
wagon
over here earlier. My chocobo's parked outside in a no chocobo zone.
You should catch the bullet chocobo. Those things are awesome. They cost a little more.
There he is there.
There he is.
He's gonna land on your head.
Okay. Now, Tales of Vesperia was the big Xbox 360 exclusive. The other game that they're coming out for the exclusive for the Wii is called Tales of Graces. And again, very impressive visually, like cool cutscenes, and the game looks really good. It looks as good to me from what I saw as the 360 game. There is a new Super Monkey Ball, which we'll be playing not too far off.
And roll.
Very hard to play. I tried it on the Wii Balance Board. Very tricky game to play, but it's going to be fun, loaded with mini games as well.
But even when we were at PAX a few weeks ago, they had like their hula dancing game, and they had all of the usual Wii crap, and you don't really see that here, and it's kind of nice.
You don't see too many mini game compilations at the show.
You do see Silent Hill Shattered Memories, which I think is going to be
again more mature rated Wii stuff. Silent Hill.
It's going to be one of the best games on the Wii this year. It looks incredible.
We take this at your pace. We go back to the start. Understand what happened.
You know what else I saw here was Red Steel in the Ubisoft booth. Looking very promising.
And mature.
Once again.
Now, the DS is actually getting some good love here at the show. DS and PSP, actually. Lots and lots of players here in Japan. You guys are noticing people on the trains everywhere.
What do you guys see more? More DSs or more PSPs on the trains?
I'd say more DSs.
Yeah, more DSs, but quite a few PSPs as well.
I saw a guy on the train today with a red PSP.
Nice. I've seen like
Nice.
4 or 5 different colored PSPs.
Yes.
Sony's showing off a whole bunch of really cool options for the PSP.
It seems like they haven't placed a lot of emphasis on the PSP Go at the show for some reason. Remember, even at E3, the PSP Go was everywhere. You couldn't avoid it. And here, you have to look really hard to find it.
In terms of games, what did you guys see that blew you away?
I haven't really seen anything new. I mean, the Tekken 6.
Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker. They gave away a 256 megabyte demo, and it's actually about 5 hours of content that you can soak it up. There's lots of different levels. You can play it all single player, and you can play it with up to 4 players in some of the co-op varietals that are in there.
One of the games I looked at on the PSP was SOCOM Portable. It's probably going to have a different name in the States.
Yeah.
Being developed by Slant 6 right in Vancouver.
Yep.
It traveled all the way to Japan to be here today just to entertain us.
There it is.
looks terrific.
That's right. We traveled all the way from Vancouver.
Nice.
Kingdom Hearts.
Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep.
Dumb name.
Dumb name.
What about God Eater?
He was like, Jose was looking at that.
Is that God Hand-esque or
No.
interesting title?
Looks like an RPG.
It's from Namco Bandai.
Now, what about on the DS?
Oh, Okami for the DS. I was shocked to see that. I hadn't heard one word about it. All of a sudden, I come into the convention hall here, and there's a huge crowd around Okami for the DS.
Perfect fit.
Perfect fit.
Absolutely perfect
That
fit.
was a game that did not get enough credit the first time around. We nearly made it. Or the second time around, we made ourselves hoarse trying to tell people to go play this game. Nobody played it. Now you can play it on the DS.
And you know what? The first time it came around, everybody said, this should be on the DS. Second time, this should be on the DS. Now it's on the DS.
Now what are they going to say?
Hello.
Don't let it slip by this time, all right? I can't wait to play that game.
It looks terrific. It looks spectacular.
They also have Ghost Trick, which is by the Ace Attorney guys, and it looks like a little bit different, little mystery puzzle action and sort of adventure kind of thing.
Another mystery puzzle one I saw from Tecmo, from the guys that made Hotel Dusk.
Yeah.
It's a game called Again.
Yeah, that looked weird with actors, right?
Yeah.
Square's got Dragon Quest VI right behind us on the DS and big
trilogy.
There didn't seem to be tons and tons of DS games, but
Like a Nintendo.
yeah,
It's sort of shocking because of the popularity of the DS here, and we were just talking about how many of them we see on the subways.
I think part of the challenge, though, with DS at a showcase like this is just how do you put that stuff up on screen and draw people in? It's a little bit tricky, and then people are hunched over and playing the games. PSP faces that as well. All right, stick around, though. When we come back from the break, we're going to talk about some of the quirky titles that we have seen in some of the corners, some of the booth presents from the different companies that are here, and some of the stuff that we cannot wait to play right after this. Welcome back to Reviews on the Run. We are rocking TGS. Did you guys have a good time? Yes or no?
You know what? And the theme of the show, right, as it says behind me, game. It's so energetic. That's pretty much how I feel about it.
Is that what it says?
That's what it says.
It's so energetic.
It's so energetic.
I think that's a Wii slogan.
No.
A few years ago.
No.
Wouldn't that be?
No. It's
No.
TGS's slogan for 2009.
All right,
That was
okay,
my
cool.
slogan back in 1976.
1976?
Game, it's so energetic, yeah.
Yeah.
I met a lot of girls that way.
Did you? Did you have any observations about, this trip in general, coming out to TGS, getting a sense of how games are kind of received by the Japanese public, how it's sort of integrated in the culture?
I wear my emotions on my sleeve. That's just who I am.
Yeah.
I was a little disappointed in this TGS. It seems like there's one other hall that's not there this year or something.
Well, I think there's been some consolidation in the business. I think it's been a tough transition to this generation. We're at the tail end of it. We had a big economic downturn for everybody, and the Japanese gaming environment definitely suffered from that. And I think this is what we're seeing. But I'm pretty impressed with what I'm seeing on the floor. I mean, there's some really good looking stuff.
The other thing that I'm seeing is, you used to come to Japan, you used to be able to get stuff here that wasn't out in the States.
Yeah.
Now there's stuff out in the States that you can't get here yet.
Just from a casual observation, it's like the Japanese game development scene, they remake a lot of stuff over and over again. I mean, we're up to Final Fantasy 13. I'm excited to play it at 14. I can't wait to play it, but, we've played a lot of these kinds of games over and over again, and America and American developers, North American developers, there is this sense of, one-upmanship in reinvention and trying to come up with new brands and new ways to play, new ways to engage.
Do you think it's time for the Japanese culture to adapt a more North American style of gaming? Because you see a lot of the first-person shooters making their way onto the scene here, and they're going with the third-person action games.
Yeah.
It really is interesting when you think about it. I mean, maybe North America, maybe Europe has taken the reins as far as innovation, because, really, it used to be the other way around.
I just think that we're in a transition again, and I think the Japanese culture and the Japanese game development scene is in a transitional phase. I mean, when you have Hideo Kojima and the Metal Gear guys, Itagaki-san is definitely a big part of this as well, actively kind of expressing their desire to appeal to more Western gamers and developing their games with that focus in mind. That's a pretty big statement. I can't wait to see what Japanese developers do with Natal, and the motion controlling stuff, and I think we're going to see a lot of really cool and clever
I think
ideas.
you're right, though. When you look at a company like Capcom, Dead Rising 2 is set in like a Las Vegas kind of place.
Being made in Vancouver, and it was created by a company in Osaka.
You look at even Resident Evil 5, Resident Evil 4 was just weird, and Resident Evil 5, they really tried to westernize it a little bit more.
Lost Planet 2, I mean, if that isn't an appeal to the Halo Gears crowd, I don't know what is, Maybe it's not the incredible revolution that the new E3 turned out to be this year. The Beatles certainly didn't show up to kick off this event, but I had a great time.
I give my time a 4 out of 10.
Really? Overall? Not that fun?
I don't love this venue. I mean, look at the convention center in LA. Is kind of,
and
LA's
it's way
not
out
my
of
favorite
town,
city.
too, this one, too,
It takes us like an hour to 2 hours to get out here. If you get lost on the train, 2 hours if you don't want to.
Well, the Reviews on the Run helicopters, they weren't gassed up. So otherwise, it would have been good, where our jetpacks weren't working.
Right
I mean, the way I end up feeling at the end of these shows is, we've spent a couple days of looking at stuff. I want to go home and play stuff. I want to get back to doing the show.
What are the games or game that you saw here that you cannot wait to get your hands on?
I want to play Bayonetta in the worst way.
Yeah.
Every time I see that game, it gets more and more beautiful.
Yeah.
It's a game that's made for me. It makes no sense whatsoever. It's sexy. It's weird. It's violent. I love that.
I'm looking forward to playing more Lost Planet 2.
Yeah.
Uncharted 2, which, I mean, looks sexy, but
Unreal,
Lost
yeah.
Planet 2 was the one I got my hands on that I really would like to play.
Lost Planet 2 looks so good. I was so stoked to see it here on the big screen. It looks incredible. What freaked me out, I mean, Uncharted 2 and God of War 3, I am dying for those games. I'm a big fan of the franchise, but I was blown away by Final Fantasy 13, not expecting to be so hyped up to jump onto that. It looks amazing. It really does. Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker, to walk away with that demo, that free gift from Kojima Productions, and to be able to play this thing, I think it's going to be my favorite PSP game of all time. It comes out next year, hopefully by this summer.
All right, relax.
So that's my game of the show, is the Metal Gear
Peace
Solid.
Walker?
Yeah.
Now, would you say that since E3, people usually cater more towards the Xbox, that it's kind of surprising that TGS is more Sony, there's a lot more Sony love?
Well, no, it isn't, because, Sony's a Japanese company. There's a lot of cultural pride for the machine. It's been the dominant market leader. I mean, look at it. The Last Guardian, God of War 3.
In the end, there will be only chaos.
These are really big games. I don't think when you're looking at the first-party lineup from 360, I mean, ODST's already out there. It's not quite the same pedigree.
Yes.
This is really the Sony and the PlayStation show.
There is always that sort of jockeying for position at these shows. Everybody tries to one-up each other, and Sony's definitely here, and they've claimed their space, and they've claimed this as their show. And Microsoft had a big presence, and they made it. But they're pushing each other, and I think that's good.
It's very good.
I think the PS3 Slim is a beautiful redesign.
Yep.
And the PSP Go, I don't know. We're on the fence, but we'll have to take a look at it when we get back to the States.
I can't wait to review the PSP Go. Decent show, not the best TGS I've been to, but not a bad one, and definitely some really cool games that I can't wait to play. We'll see you guys next time on Reviews on the Run. You can get caught up on the show anytime you want to at reviewsontherun.com. Yes. You can also follow us on Twitter at Reviews on the Run. This is at Don Fubar. This is at Scott C. Jones.
He's at Victor_Lucas.
And we'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching Reviews on the Run, and we'll be back for TGS 2010.
Maybe.
Sound all right? Maybe.
Arigato.
Arigato.